Welcome to Women of the World Network Choreograph Success podcast. I am Elle Ballard, a woman of the world, a mother, a grandmother, a wife, and an entrepreneur. In this podcast, I discuss ways to choreograph success across 6 essential life areas: health, relationships, career, money, investments, and fun and pleasure. Because as women of the world, we don't just build businesses, we design lives that honor all of who we are. I interview female business owners who are building a business and a life sustainably, ethically, and in community. In these raw and real conversations, we explore what it's like to build a life and business authentically on your own terms while standing on a foundation of self-love and intentionality. If you are a woman of the world, ready to choreograph success in every area of your life while maintaining your uniqueness and individuality, you are in the right place. Welcome to Women of the World Network Choreograph Success podcast. Hello, everyone. Elle Ballard is here today on the Women of the World Network podcast, Choreograph Success, with my dear friend all the way from Hawaii, Gaby, Dr. Gaby Toloza. Hi, Gaby.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, welcome. And I know it's going to be great conversation. I'm excited. Dr. Gaby Toloza is a licensed clinical psychologist and mindfulness mentor. She's on a mission to make mental health care accessible and inclusive. Through the Mindful Rebels Collective, she bridges clinical wisdom into community care, immersive retreats, and a traditional therapy clinic. The end vision is humans who live grounded in their own inner wisdom, engaged in sustainable practices, creating meaningful lives. How beautiful! What a beautiful mission. Can you take us to the beginning of it all, how it started for you, and why you decided to take this path?
Yeah, I guess I would originally say that it started on with a core want to help in some way, to be a helping person. But probably mostly sourced from my own pain and from my own struggle. Yeah. So um, I used to want to be a teacher. I used to want to be a teacher, and I thought I'd teach kids. And when I started doing student teaching or volunteering in a classroom, I realized that I was very drawn to the children who were having a hard time in the class. So I wanted to, I was interested in the kids who couldn't access their learning or who were being disruptive or having a hard time paying attention. And so from that, I pivoted away, actually said, I don't want to teach math and I don't want to just run a fifth grade class. I wanted to help the kids who were having a hard time. And so I changed my undergrad major to a liberal studies major in child development and really learning how to help and understand the growth of the child, which led to a lot of psychology work. So I graduated with that degree, and then right after college, at the end, I got a job working with kids with autism as like a one-to-one aide. So I worked in their homes, in the schools, and I had a mentor at the time who was a psychologist, who was my supervisor, basically. And I was like, oh, like that's a thing that people do. They're psychologists. And so that kind of set me on that course. So I worked for many years working with kids, and then I got my master's and worked in other settings, and then eventually on to my doctorate, all the time just sort of expanding the different populations that I got to support. But I kept autism for a long time. I worked with that population all the way until we moved away to Italy. So many years I did the work with autism for a long time. So I guess it started with a desire to help, and I do hold that belief of like, be the change you want to see in the world. Like, I'm a big fan of that quote. As a young child, always, or teenager, always thinking like, yeah, I can be the change, and what is the change that I want? And so that's still a mantra that kind of guides me today.
I love that. How beautiful. And I didn't know you lived in Italy.
I did. I lived in Italy for 4 years, 2 years before COVID and 2 years after COVID. It was a beautiful time. I'm half Italian, so I loved getting to go back to where my family is from and learning a lot about it. One day I hope I get to live half time there and half time in Hawaii.
Yeah, nice, nice. How nice. Italy is on my list. I have not been, but I heard great things about it.
It's
Love to
lovely,
visit one day.
really.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story and the origins of how it all started for you. So, in this process of building your practice and your career in this field, what are some of the just really this maybe some key moments that you would want to share with us from your experience, some lessons that brought these lessons for you?
I think the biggest lesson is that we're all humans doing the best we can. And
Yeah.
everyone is in their own place and on their own lane. Um,
Mm,
and we're not designed to fully understand that for everyone else. And basically, life is a journey of understanding that for yourself. Why do you think you're here, and what are you here for, and what do you want your life to be about?
mm,
And have the capacity to create meaning. So, because we can create meaning, we should. um, and I see it as an untapped resource in a lot of everyday people, and that struggling with that. And we have a lot of conditioning that teaches us, like, this is what matters, and this is what matters, and this is what should
yeah.
matter. And a lot of that sometimes well-intentioned. I use my own family as reference. I'm sure my parents meant well in the direction
Hmm.
they guided me. And I mean, I turned out okay, so I think they did a fine job. Um, but for me, as the person I wasn't designed to do it in exactly the way my parents wanted me to. Yeah. So that's kind of what's led to what now is the Mindful Rebels Collective. And that's that idea of a mindful rebel. So this idea of being a present, grounded person in the moment. That doesn't mean you're calm, and that doesn't mean you're always at peace and always zen with life, but you are present with whatever is there for you. And sometimes we have to rebel, meaning go against what might feel automatic or might feel routine. But we only do that if it's aligned with something that matters deeply to us. So, like in my example of myself, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. I knew I wanted to help people. So the helping people was the value, and that was important. But when I saw this experience, the mindful experience in the classroom with the kids that were struggling, I was more struck by helping the kid who couldn't learn than by being the teacher in front of the class of 30 kids. So I had to rebel and shift and pivot my decision to instead move in a different direction, which was scary and uncomfortable. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have likely become a psychologist. I wouldn't have worked with the kids. I would have become a teacher, which would have been a
Yeah.
fine path, but I don't feel like that was where. And then repeatedly, in my life, I've made rebel moment shifts, all along the path. Like when I'll share one more, when we lived in Hawaii, then we moved to Oklahoma for a few years, and then we moved to Italy. So in the move to Italy, I wasn't going to be able to work in the traditional format anymore because we were going to be overseas, and I wouldn't be in a license. I don't speak full Italian, so I couldn't get employment there either. And so it required me to pivot and think professionally, what am I going to do? Because I'm like, well, I could just take a few years off and be a mom and enjoy traveling around, which I definitely did my share of that, which was awesome. But it pivoted to like, well, why can't I work with people online? Why can't I work virtually? Yeah. This is COVID. Okay. So this is pre-COVID and many of my colleagues, they thought I was crazy. They thought you can't do therapy on the computer. You can't foster a relationship and have deep connections over the computer. And literally my inside self was like, oh, watch me.
Yeah.
So that was that mindful self that is a bit rebelling against the normative path of my profession and what my profession thought, which no shade on them. I agree. I did that work too, but I said, well, why not? If I take precautions and I'm careful about the kind of clientele and the sort of support I'm going to provide, I don't know why that's any different. And then it worked. And I had, it worked more in a coaching structure because I'm not in the States. I can't licensing laws don't apply when I work globally. So I turned into more of a coach at that time, where mindfulness kind of settled in for me. And that's what I taught. But then what's funny is then COVID happened, and now most therapists work online. Most therapists do virtual work, telehealth work, even medical doctors do virtual work. We all love our telehealth visits, and guess what? The system kept going just fine. So again, another example of that mindful rebel shift. Like, I had to listen to myself and be willing to go against sometimes society, sometimes my own inner system, but it's for the greater purpose, some kind of greater purpose that I feel aligned with. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Gaby. Because I see how that is shaped definitely the work you do, and of course we are on Women of the World Network choreograph success. So you truly choreographed your own path. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and I want to talk definitely more about your community because I think it's such a great idea also. But before we go there, what does it mean for you, this phrase, choreograph success? What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's lovely right alongside mindful rebel in the sense of, but really the mindful piece, right? So I think seeing success as something that is definable by myself, like I define what success is, and what
Right.
success looks like in my life today, or 10 years from now, or what it looked like before. And I'm allowed to change that definition. Yeah. So the choreograph is sort of that permission, that I'm the choreographer of my life. So I make the plan and I make the choices. And I do that from an intentional, grounded, mindful place of what I have decided matters for me. And I want everyone else to do that for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I love the community that you started building because I think, and the timing of it, this whole mental health, the importance of mental health in the world today, post pandemic as we see it, I think is just so important. Can you tell us more, give us more information about your community and
Sure.
yeah.
So Mindful Connections is my business. It's my overarching business, and it has two parts. So Mindful Connections has the clinical side. The clinical side is a traditional psychotherapy practice with multiple providers. So different types of therapists that do various interventions, depends on their orientation. So one of my providers does a lot of parent-child interaction work. I do a lot of acceptance and commitment therapy work, or values-based learning, psychological flexibility. So these are different, depending on the provider is the type of intervention, but classic therapy, right? You're meeting with a practitioner one-to-one, sometimes couple work, sometimes family work. So that's one side of Mindful Connections. The other side is the Mindful Rebels Collective. So this side is the community care. So it's the idea of taking mental health and the one-to-one system and putting it in a more public forum, into a community of women right now. I don't officially say it's only women, because I don't believe that in the long run only women are part of our world. So I am not against having men, but if I'm honest, no men have tried to join. So that's just the reality of the situation. But I do couples events a few times a year, and I do invite men in and families in for certain events. So it does seem that I've decided that women are the entry point. The women are the ones who are most called to do this kind of bridging work, and that in future expansions or events from this program will have a male component, couple component, family component, and kids in that dynamic is the hope.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So in the Mindful Rebels, it's a gym membership for your heart, soul, and mind. The idea is, just like you would go to the gym to work out your body, you come to the collective to work out your mind, your body, and your soul. So we do have physical activities like Pilates, yoga, dance. We're going to integrate some Zumba, I hope soon. I have a goal to do pole dancing just because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Part of my reason for that is that one of the tenets of mindfulness is one, the beginner's mind, and the role of curiosity and playfulness. So I want that to be a part. And when I provide a novel stimulus or an intriguing activity like pole dancing, for example, or even Zumba or yoga, if no one's ever tried those things before, they come to the class. It's 1 hour. Probably 70% of our classes are online and 30% meet in person in Hawaii at this time. So we come for the hour, the women show up, I welcome them in, I say what the class is about. Sometimes I'm the instructor, and other times, like if it's a yoga class, I have a yoga instructor, but Pilates, a Pilates instructor. We do art and creativity activities, so there'll be an art instructor that's there. So I introduce them, and then throughout the class, I participate. Everyone participates, very engaging, kind of active group. And then I map mindfulness. So, hey ladies, like while you're doing that Pilates move, like notice your body, drop into your body, connect to where you feel it. And the women will be like, oh my God, it hurts. Or like, why do I not know I have that muscle? Or the little things.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes in the beginning, we check in, like, where are you at today? And most of the time, the women come in, sometimes, not all the time, but come in a little heavy, long day, stress, overwhelmed, like regular life. But by the time they leave, they feel a little uplifted, a little empowered, a little more rebellious, and grounded, so mindful. And that's been the feedback I get in every class. So that's the idea, is it's like how you go to the gym, but the gym is limited in that integration with the mind and the soul. And so as the mental health person, I help integrate that process for them, so that they can take that wisdom, and my hope is they embed it every day. So it's not just, I guess, progress or mastery is they feel like they have a system in their life. Maybe they take up yoga, maybe they take up art, whatever it is. You do dance, right? So whatever that thing is that allows them freedom, allows them self-connection, they build that into their life as their mindful rebel tool. So they can choreograph their life a little bit better.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love how structured and all these pieces that you are building. Beautiful. And yeah, and you have a big vision, so just exciting. And it's wonderful. Sounds wonderful. And I know we'll be sharing some links for our listeners. If there is curiosity, please connect to Dr. Gaby and find out more. And sounds amazing. So we'll be sharing links. Oh, but if we will be sharing links in the comments of the video or Spotify. But if you wanted to just say it out loud as well, Gaby, here.
The fastest way is actually to find me on Instagram, which is Mindful Rebels Collective. So
Perfect.
Mindful Rebels Collective on Instagram, and on Facebook, we're Mindful Connections. So Mindful Connections on Facebook.
Perfect. I want to move into the rapid fire questions part of our conversation. The first question, there are 5 of them. Your morning ritual or practice that you would like to share with us that you do?
The morning ritual I love is a walk. I actually put in, I love the Calm app. I'm a 10 plus year fan of the Calm app. If you've never used the Calm app and you want to try it for 30 days, let me know and I will send you a link that you can try that out. I get nothing. I'm not sponsored. Calm app, please sponsor me. But I would love people to try the Calm app. It's been the best tool in the last 15 years of my life, honestly, to help me slow down. So now I used to sit and listen, and now I go on a walk and listen, in particular to Jeff Warren, who runs a 8 to 10 minute meditation every morning. It's different every day. And then sometimes I listen to another woman who does a more classic style of meditation. And sometimes I listen to this woman who does a 5-minute movement, mindful movement. So I'm usually on my walk and I listen to that meditation, and then I walk. Nice. Every once in a while I pick it up and feel like a jog, but I'd say 80% of the time it's a walk. And I'm just in my neighborhood. As you know, Hawaii is a beautiful place. So
it is.
Yeah, blessed to live in a beautiful neighborhood with safe streets and places to walk. So I know all the pretty flower trees and everybody's dog and all the
Yeah,
little neighborhood things that come with living in a neighborhood. So that's
love it.
definitely my favorite. And then I don't do this as often, but would be journaling, kind of morning pages. I love
Mm-hmm.
to just write randomly
Yeah,
what's
me
in my
too.
mind. And sometimes it's guided by a prompt. Sometimes it's just release and download whatever's in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. A place in the world that shaped you.
Um,
It doesn't have to be one, I guess. Yeah, I know
yeah,
yeah.
Hawaii for sure. Hawaii is my home. I am grateful to have been born and raised here. Um, Hawaii comes, in Hawaii we have a phrase called kuleana, and kuleana means it translates to privilege, right? And
Mm,
responsibility. So it really translates to responsibility. But with responsibility comes privilege, and with
privilege,
privilege
yeah.
comes responsibility.
Right.
So I get to live that. I have deep privilege in getting to live here. So that means I have deep responsibility to this place and the people here. But that's not something that I only hold for Hawaii. I carry that everywhere that I go, or I try to. So getting to live in Hawaii and being around the culture and the community and the people that have embraced me in the culture, I'm very grateful for that and have deep respect for the place that I get to call home. So that has absolutely, I'm so grateful that my dad decided. My dad was a World War II, he was a pilot in the Air Force, and
Hmm.
he's passed now, but he flew to Hawaii in the 40s at World War II and landed in Hawaii and drove over the Pali Lookout here and Pali Mountains and saw Kailua, which is where we live now. And he told himself, so this was his mindful rebel move. He told
I
himself
would
that
live there.
he said, I will retire there, and that was only, a few years into his career, which ended up being a 30-year career. And sure enough, when he retired here with my mom, and then I was born here. So Hawaii for sure is absolutely a place that has shaped me. And
Mm.
then Italy would be my second.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah,
different
yeah,
reasons. Yeah.
for sure. I can so relate as well. Just living in different countries just gives you that. Yeah. One word that describes the woman you are becoming.
Devoted, just devoted to,
Beautiful.
yeah, myself,
Yeah.
my life,
Yes,
the people
yeah,
in my
yeah.
circle.
Music, movement, and I think you kind of shared that already. Music, movement, or stillness, or combination of this that you prefer.
Uh, I'm a little like there's a season for all of it.
Right.
I deeply value all of it actually. I like to dance hula. I have much to learn in the world of hula, but I've danced hula since I was pretty young. Um, and I do love dance. It's fun fact that you might find funny is that I have a secret desire to be a ballroom dancer. And if I wasn't a psychologist, I think I would be a professional ballroom dancer. I love watching like
Ah!
fancy,
Yes.
shows, and I always think they're so spectacular. And I did meet my husband dancing. We met dancing every weekend at a bar. Um, we met dancing more before we danced more than we talked for many weeks. And so dancing is our communication language, and we dance as a family. We love music, so there's a lot of space for that. But also I love a good sit on the beach and watch a sunrise and sit there still, close my eyes, do some breath work. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you live in a place that you can do that easily.
Yeah, I mean,
How
all the years of traveling, I think you can actually do it everywhere. I challenge myself to that. I think you can do it everywhere. It just looks different. It's packaged up a little different, but
yeah.
I love doing that in places where it's cold or snowing, or it's just a different experience, but it's still
Maybe not
grounding.
with a beach everywhere.
No beach everywhere. Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And my final question is one non-negotiable for aligned success.
I guess the non-negotiable would be mindful love.
Yeah.
I mean, love is my deepest value, and it's non-negotiable for me. I have to
Yeah.
consider it. I will always consider it. Love for myself, love for others. Yeah, that feels,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't feel like love has a place in a decision that I'm making or a choice I'm
Mm-hmm.
making, I won't make the decision. I won't
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'll say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for playing.
That was fun.
Thank
That
you.
wasn't so bad.
It was so bad. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, yeah. It was. It's fun to to explore like that. Yeah, and it's such a great conversation, right? To just to as we're building our communities, both of us, and being reflectors, both of us.
Oh yeah. That's our fun
uh,
fact.
fun fact. Fun fact. Um, yeah, I love this. But as we are getting ready to close this conversation, if there is one truth, one reminder, one invitation that you would want our listeners to take away from today, from this conversation, you want them to receive, you would want them to receive, what would that be?
Um, Everything is for you. Everything in your life is for you. Figuring out what it's for, that's the challenge. That's the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And in some respects, I think the message I love to say is, I am you. I am you, and you are me.
Yeah.
So everything I have, you have. Everything you have, I have. It looks different. It's packaged different. And that includes our strengths and our struggles. So we are one and the same, one common human
Mm-hmm.
entity in the world, and if that's the case, then any place where I have attachment or any place where I'm stuck, it's just, you're stuck in that your own place too,
Yeah.
and any place I'm celebrating and enjoying, you have your place. So realizing that comparison truly is the thief of joy, and there's no benefit truly in comparing. We're all in it,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, just choose to see the world through that lens of, like, we're all just in it together, and
Yeah.
amplify that. Lean into your lane of what you're good at and pursue that with all the passion that you have. Because if you're here, you matter. You matter just because you exist. You don't need to have any other reason besides that. And I can come up
Mm-hmm.
with 5 even if I don't know you. Everything else is a counter trying to tell you don't matter, or you'll matter if, or you'll matter when. But that's the hook away, is like just believing that you do matter and that you do belong, period.
Mm-hmm.
That was longer
Mm-hmm.
than one message, but anyway.
No, it's so good. There's so much wisdom in it. It's thank you, Gabby. Such a great conversation to have you and talk to you and get to know your story. And thank you for sharing your story transparently and just being here, just you. And I love closing with this powerful message. Closing this conversation. I know I'll see you very soon. But thank you for taking the time to be
I
here.
appreciate it. Thank you for the space and for the community you create.
Thank you, Gabby.